Hello, this is Jesse Ice. Welcome to the Jesse Ice special of the podcast. Today I'm going to be giving you guys a mental talk and teach you guys how to get through your day better. So let's say everyone probably has their own things going on. I bet you listening to this right now, you're probably procrastinating about something. Because I feel like as humans, we develop to procrastinate. Because if we're at a young age, we're just told that, oh, well, you can do this tomorrow, you can do this later, you can do this whenever you feel like it. Well, I'm trying to push the motive by giving this podcast saying that you need to do it right now. Because I know it's easy to sit there and say, well, tomorrow, just tomorrow. But I feel like if you get it done today, you don't have to worry about tomorrow. Just like imagine all the times you've been sitting there worrying about something and being like, oh, I should have done that earlier. Well, this is your sign to do that now. Because the more you wait, the more you're going to end up suffering the consequences. Because let's say, hypothetically, you have assignment due tomorrow and it's in math and you don't know what to do. And you're sitting there at home and you got it later on in the day. And you're sitting there like, okay, so how do I do this? And it's something you went over in class, but you didn't pay attention to class because you were like, oh, I can just turn this in tomorrow and do it later at home. That's why you need to ask questions in class. You can't be sitting in class not paying attention and not learning the material, because when you don't take in the material, you won't be able to do your homework. And I feel like that as students at AHS, I feel like we are pushed to do greatness. And I feel like we are given all the opportunities and what we need to do it. We just need to apply ourselves better. Because I have met countless students, countless kids, just countless friends, honestly, that have such trouble doing what they're meant to be told. Because I know as a senior coming into this year, I procrastinated so much. Like, there is so much stuff I pushed back. It's like one of the things I can just bring up is the smart futures. I have pushed those back so far that I am far behind on all of them. Like, that's not should be a position you are in. You listening to this, you could be in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 12th grade, like I'm in now. But if you don't start on your smart futures sooner, you'll be in the same situation I am. You'll be struggling to get them done, which I feel like in this time we're students, we get so much time to procrastinate that we don't spend that time putting ourselves in and educating ourselves and applying ourselves to the assignments that teachers are teaching. And in this podcast, I'm just pretty much sitting here telling you that yes, you can get your homework assignment. You can be like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. But the but here, why do it tomorrow when you can do it today? I want you to get a piece of paper out. Write this down with me. Why start tomorrow? Write that down. Why start tomorrow when you can start today? I get it. It might be, I gotta go home and I want to take a nap. Do it after you nap. Like, there should be no reason, unless there's a physical, actual reason why you cannot do it, which I understand. You should do it when you can. You shouldn't be procrastinating something, especially when it's a school assignment, because you are given so much. I know most teachers, okay, I'm not going to sit here and say that all teachers are fair, because not all teachers are fair. It's pretty obvious, but you can do your work in class, and you have time at home to do your work. So there is really no strong reason if you are just lazy, because I feel like ever since the pandemic in 2020, all students have been kind of on autopilot mode. At least that's what I feel for myself. Like, they're just trying to get through the day. That's what brings in that procrastination factor, is because they don't want to do the work. They just want to push it back and push it back and push it back and hope, oh, I'll just get it done whenever and I'll take the late points. But that's not how you should focus your high school journey. You should do it and get your work done when you want to. Like, you need to do it now. You shouldn't, because the more you wait, it's going to go through your entire life. You're going to be able to procrastinate your entire life. But will you? I mean, some people do, and they have the turnout they do in life. But I feel like most people nowadays, if you start putting yourself in and dedicating yourself to something while you're young, that will help you spiral when you get into later in life. Because most of the time, when you're sitting in high school right now, I know I have my job plan figured out. I want to be a teacher, so I'm going to college, be a teacher. Getting my work done, getting all my grades up, getting mastering in the things I want, and I'm getting it done. Because there is no reason that I feel like most students nowadays don't decide what they want to do before they go to college. They sit there and decide while they're in college, which takes a lot away from what is taught in high school. Because I feel like it's most of the time, most kids don't want to apply themselves in high school. They want to go to their senior year, where most students are. I feel myself guilty in that case, going into math. But most students want to go into their senior year and take the easiest classes they can, which struggles because once you take the easiest class you can, you're missing out on the classes you could have. Like, let's say you want to be a wood shop engineer or something. You take a wood class. You should take a shop class. You shouldn't be taking culinary. You should be taking the classes you need to take. And I feel like it's easy to kind of push yourself to be like, oh, well, in college, I'm being taught what I need to learn. Well, you should apply yourself now, because now is now. Later is later. That's a good statement to live by. Write that down on the other piece of note paper. Now is now, later is later. You need to focus on the now, not later. Because the longer later is, it's later. Because later, the same word, just an ER on it. Think, you don't want to turn an assignment late. You say, oh, I'll turn in later, but it sounds a lot differently saying, I'll turn it in late. You see how those sound the exact same? Yes, two words have entirely different meaning. Later means later on. Means not right now, I'll turn in whenever. Late is I turn it in after it's due. And you shouldn't be procrastinating over something that you can do. You should be focusing on it, and you should get what you need to do done. Because the longer you wait for things, the less time you'll have to achieve them, which I feel like is also another good motive to live by. The longer you wait to achieve something, the longer you have to gain it and fully implement yourself to it. Let's say, okay, being a teacher, I'll use my own self-life as an example. Let's say I'm going into college, right? I'm going to college to be a teacher. What if I sit here and say, oh, I'm going to go to a tech school. I'm going to go to a school that doesn't have anything to do with teaching. And in my high school year, I'm not going to do anything that I need to take to do teaching. Well, when I go into college, I'll be sitting there thinking, oh, in high school, I should have taken the classes that will prepare me for this, because I will prepare myself in high school to be ready for college. I won't be sitting in college thinking back on high school saying, oh, I should have prepared myself then, and I should have prepared myself then, not now. Because now is now. Later is later, which is pretty self-explanatory. I feel like most people know that. Later is later, now is now. Well, if you don't focus on the now, you won't have the later to focus on. Because the more you sit there and think, well, I can do it later, the more time you're wasting time thinking you can do it later. Yes, you can do it later. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, you always need to turn your assignments on the day they're due. You always need to turn them in right when they need be. Because not everyone's perfect. I know many high school kids, jobs, you have anything to do outside of school, you have sports, anything to do besides your homework or whatever you have to do. Which I feel like those are acceptable. I feel like there is gap where some students can say that, oh, I have an excuse. And excuses are valid, because there's excuses all over the board. But if you're saying just simply using a make-up excuse to explain why your assignment's late, that's where you've hit a roadblock. Because when you're sitting in an office 20, 30 years later, your boss can come up to you and say, hey, where is this spreadsheet I asked for? And you're going to say, oh, I'll do it later. No, you're going to say, oh, I have it done right here, right now. Because he's not going to give you that later. He's not going to be like your teachers that give you late points and take off points, but you still get points for the assignment. No, he's going to be upset with you, and that's possibly even a termination there, because most of the time, bosses aren't going to sit there and give you the extra time that you want, because he gave you the time you had. So I feel like as students, we need to apply ourselves better. That's what that whole ramble was on. Students need to apply themselves better, get their assignments done on time, and turn them in when they're due. because the amount of students that are going to struggle so hard in life and struggle so much with things because they couldn't do it on time is a lot. And that's the future I do not want. I do not want a future of procrastinators. I want a future of good, standing, able-bodied people that can do stuff on time and turn it in on time, which I feel like easier said than done, which in a lot of cases it is easier said than done, but I feel like most people can if you really implement yourself to it. But besides all the turn and junk I just rambled on, let's talk about you as a person. Do you think you're the best you? That's a good question. I feel like a lot of people can sit there and look at themselves and say, am I the best me? Because you're not always the best you, which is obvious because you can say that it's okay not to be okay, which is a perfectly good argument. It's okay not to be okay. But you should be the best you can be. Because in a world of so much hate, people should be able to spread more love and positivity than hate and lust and regret. Because you listening to this now, you're probably sitting there listening to this. You're probably sitting down listening to this, which I understand that. Listening down, you want to sit down and listen to something. You could be doing whatever you need to be doing while listening to this. This should not be a distraction. In life, we're going to have so many things that are going to try to distract us from the goal. But you just need to focus on the main goal because it's so easy to get sidetracked. Like, I believe that's so easy, especially in this world where our attention spans are. You need to have a Subway Surfers video next to TikTok to watch it all the way through. But as time goes on, I'm scared the next generations of humans, the next generations growing up, being addicted to whatever it is they are. Like, I know so many kids nowadays are growing up with the iPad in their hands, which I'm not going to state opinions on that but you should have something else to entertain you. Because I feel like when I was a kid, I was taught to go outside. I was taught to go and play with my friends. And yes, I had video games. I was a gamer by any stretch of the word. I was days and hours sitting down playing the same video game. But the more I go outside and the more I put myself into the world and attempt to make friends and attempt to just live a more energetic, positive life outside of the screen, I feel like I've accomplished so much more. Because this year, my senior year, I never really did anything last year. But my senior year, I've decided to put myself in clubs. I've decided to do as much as I can and make my senior year the best it can be, because that's how you should live high school. You should start earlier. Like, you shouldn't be like me. I don't want anyone to roughly go down the same road I did. You should be in clubs in sports. I feel like I get why you can't be in clubs in sports because you have an excuse or whatever. But you should implement yourself. This is pretty much the whole podcast right now. I'm talking to you. Implement yourself. Put yourself into those shoes and do what you need to do. Because the more you do what you need to do now, the later you'll have to sit there and think back on what you didn't do. Because there's a lot of people that sit there and think, oh, I could have done that when I was younger. I could have went and majored in so-and-so and done so-and-so. But that's not always the reality. You can do so-and-so. Anyone that tells you can't do something, tell them, yes, you can. Because there is nothing that someone cannot do. We as humans have done the unthinkable. Like, just look around you in your day-to-day life. Look at your phone. Someone has implemented all of that. You can talk to people millions of miles away across the world just on that phone. You can reach people millions and millions across the world. You can find anything you're looking for just by typing in a couple words. Like, if you went back and asked any person before phones were invented if that could ever be a possibility, they would tell you no. Because they didn't think they could do it. But who made phones? They did it. Did you see what I'm saying? Because when you say you can't do something, you can. You just need to do it. Because the longer you wait to do something, and the more you procrastinate to get something done, you'll say you can't do it. as you grow older, as I'm 18-year-old, I feel like I'm 30, I've realized that I need to take life slow, because the amount of stuff I've sat there and thought back on, I could have done that, I could have done this, that situation could have gone differently. People, you need to stop and think, because you're going to make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, but you can't spend your whole life looking back on your mistakes and thinking back on what you could have done differently, because that's just a simple fact of the matter. You can't change what happened. You can try to word it different or say that, or act like it didn't exist, but it happened. You can't change the fact that it happened, which is a whole different podcast in itself. But you as an individual, you have the ability to do anything you want. Like, that is our God-given right. We can do anything we want. We don't have to be bound by our mentality to say that, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, yes, you can. You just need to do it. Which is, I'm going to sit here and say that, and yeah, that is a lot more complicated and down the road than people think. That is not something that's just like, oh, I can build a time machine. Like, I'm sure, yeah, I'm not going to say it's possible, but I mean, it's definitely a possibility. But you as a human, you need to spread positiveness, because there is so much hate in this world. The more you're more positive, the more people tend to like you and support you. But the more negative and hating you are, the more people tend to dislike you or disagree with you. Which I feel like it's all right to be disagreed with. It's all right to have your opinions on something. But to not be able to do something because you think you can't is an entirely different thing than doing something because you can't. Because I can sit here and say, oh, I cannot be a 6'5", 250-pound lineman. Like, I don't have the genes for that. I physically cannot do that. But if I'm sitting here, I am 6'5", I'm just not 250. I can sit here and say to myself, I don't think I can get 250. But you can't. You can get to whatever goal you want to accomplish just by putting yourself in it and putting yourself in that situation where you can push yourself to do it. So, to close things out, I just want to talk about my personal goals and what I wish to accomplish, because I feel like everyone has goals and they want to accomplish them. So, I'm going to accomplish my goals by applying for colleges, getting myself into college, and finishing all my classes I'm taking and getting highest grades so I get the brownie points on my college applications. You need to do your goals. Goals, everyone sets goals. It's like your New Year's resolution. You want to do something. You want to change yourself. You want to make this year different. Do that. Don't sit there and say, I can't, because you can. Everyone who says they can't do something can. Even the most, and no matter your position, you can. You can. There's nothing you cannot do out of a reasonable doubt. I'm not going to say you can't do absolutely. You can do anything. I'm not going to say you can do everything, because there's something you can't do because morals or ethics or whatever you believe. But you need to do whatever you can, because I feel like as time has went on, people have decided to not reach their goals and give up easily. But you can accomplish your goals. I know you can. I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. Not you probably listen to this thinking, me? Yes, I'm talking to you. You can accomplish your goals. Just implement yourself and do your best. That's all you can ever ask. And doing your best is all that matters. And just make sure you can do anything you can. I believe in you. I believe in every single person. Everyone can change. Everyone can accomplish their goals. Anyone can do anything. And that's what I want to end this podcast on. Thinking that you listening, you can do it. I believe in you. Thank you for listening to my yap. And thank you for listening. Thank you for all the people that come back and listen to this podcast every week, month, or so on and so forth. And thank you. Thank you for listening. And next time, I'll see you later. I'm Jesse Ice. This was the Jesse Ice Podcast.